everybody, and welcome back to another episode in the Adventures with Andy Halloween Megaventure. You may have noticed this necklace that I've been wearing in our episodes, in our Halloween adventures. I made this a while back, last year you think?
Maybe.
I don't remember exactly. I've slept since then, so I don't remember. Anyway, I made this a while back, and I thought today I would show you how to make it by teaching Chad. Chad, have you ever made jewelry before?
Many years ago when, like in home ec class.
Yeah? Did you make head pins from scratch?
No.
No? You used kits?
Yeah, we had to buy kits and make with the kits.
So this can be a whole new experience for you, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to make this entirely from scratch. From just copper wire. Well, okay, not entirely from scratch. We're not casting the beads. We're not forming glass beads. But we're not going to be using pre-made head pins for this. We're going to use just copper wire and make our own head pins out of it. Because it turns out that making jewelry findings isn't as hard as I originally thought it was going to be. It's pretty straightforward. Just takes practice like anything. We're going to have to do this out in the garage.
We are?
Yes.
But we're in your beading room.
Well, we're in my office.
Mm-hmm.
But my office is currently not my office.
No, what is it?
No, it is Baby Cat World. So we're going to have to do this outside in the garage because okay, so let's grab some stuff.
Let's grab our stuff and go. Are you ready?
For this project, we're going to be using 20 gauge copper wire. I personally like the color of copper, but it's also, as far as the hardness goes, it's a nice hardness, not too hard, not too soft, for when you're learning to do jewelry. And it's also cheaper than, for example, silver or gold. So it's a good learning wire. We are going to be using these pumpkin charms. I just picked them up at the craft store. I got these at Michael's, didn't I?
I think so.
Yes. That's where I get a lot of my stuff. We're going to be using some of these 6/0 seed beads. I got those from, I believe, Fire Mountain Gems. Another place that I get a lot of stuff from. So I am going to walk Chad through this. There are some things that are going to be easier for me to show him than to tell him. So I'm going to be making one alongside him, but we're going to keep the camera focused on what he's doing. Okay, so the first thing I need you to do, you can see that this whole pendant is about 2 inches long.
Right.
All right, so I want you to snip off of this copper wire 2 lengths of wire that are 4 inches long.
Okay.
Now the first thing you need to do after you find the end. Are you having trouble, sweetie?
No, just trying to get the end out. There we go.
The wire's being mean to him. Okay, go ahead and pull a length out that you think is going to be enough to do what you're gonna cut off.
Yeah, it looks to be more than enough to do 2 4-inch pieces.
Okay. You need to clean the wire. And these are nylon head pliers. And you just take them and you just hold down and pull down the wire. It does 2 things. It cleans any dirt or anything off of the wire. It also, well, technically it does 3 things. It cleans any dirt or anything off the wire. It straightens it, and it also hardens it some. Okay, that's probably good.
Okay.
All right, just go ahead and snip that off. doing. And he's using side snips. These are his. You want to cut it so that the flat end is going to be, no, turn around. The flat end is going to be on the piece that you cut.
Now the piece you're keeping?
Yes. Not at an angle.
That's
there
right.
you go. He uses his side snips for cleaning off sprues and...
These are sprue cutters?
Yeah, they're sprue cutters that he uses when he's painting miniatures. They work really, really good for jewelry working, though. I've actually stolen them for doing some stuff because they cut nice and smooth.
So I guess 4 inches?
Yeah.
You said?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay.
Do you need that one trimmed or?
No, why don't you work with this one because it's a little bit longer. It's going to give you a little bit more to work with.
Okay.
Don't worry about trimming it down. That's okay. Going on the philosophy of better to have more than to have less, and because while you could attach more back going, we're not going to be soldering metal today.
No?
No. And any extra that you have to trim off in the end, I can turn that into jump rings. You know, it's not a problem. It's not going to be wasted, and just easier if you have a little bit extra to start with. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this little spiral here. Right down here. Now, if you've made jewelry before, this is the end of a head pin. And that's basically what we're doing here is we are making our own head pin. And we're going to do it with a spiral end. So this is one of these things that I'm going to have to show you because it's easier to show than it is to describe. Okay, you want to take
Pliers?
Pliers. You want to use a pair that don't have teeth on the inside. Otherwise, they're going to mar up the metal. Okay, you want to put it just so that the end of the wire is flush with the top of your pliers, right? See? Down toward the end of it, not way up here. Okay? Right? And then you're going to turn it 180 degrees. Just upside down. Okay?
Like that?
Yep. And that will form a
Oops,
U.
I went too far. Okay, just back it up.
Back it up.
There we go.
Okay. So that'll form a U like this. All right? And now you're going to take this and you're going to put it in your pliers just like this and clamp it closed. And I, of course, always have a hard time with this, probably because I use lotion. So my hands are always slippery.
So like that?
You want it like this.
Oh, completely closed.
You want it crushed down completely. This is going to form that very inner part of the spiral.
So like that.
Smashed all the way down. Yep. Okay. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this, have it on there sideways like this, right? Hold it with just the tip of your pliers so that the curved part is at the top and the shorter end is on the outside, okay? And then you are going to turn, just kind of push the, and if you need to hold it further back, that's fine. Just push the wire around as much as you can.
So which side does the short side go on?
The short side goes to the outside.
So...
Because what you were doing is you were going to be curling this wire around that short side.
Like this?
No. You want to... Here, let me undo mine. And I'll show you again. Okay. Like this. See?
So like this?
Yes.
Okay.
So that the head is going in there perpendicular to the pointy end.
Okay.
right? Okay, and then just push the wire around.
Which way are you pushing the wire?
You want to push it that way, toward the end.
So. Like that?
I can't see. No, take it out of the pliers. I can't see. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then you just keep doing that, right? And it gets easier as you go further around. And you're going to just need to take your wire out of your pliers and reposition it to give yourself room to work. And you just want to do this until you've got like 3 loops around. And you can either do it so that the spiral has got some gaps in there, or so that it's up tight, however you want to do it, either way. You can do it so it's just the very tip of the wire that turns, so it's more round. The ones that Chad and I are doing are a little bit more oblong, where the one that I did here is kind of oblong. It's kind of ovalish.
All right, how round are we going?
We're going to go 3 times around.
Okay, so this is number 3 for me, I believe.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Like that. Do I need to go around one more time, or?
I'm counting mine. I need to.
Guess I'm going around again, right?
Let me see. Okay, you see like in mine, how if you count across, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what you want.
Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
One more time.
Go around one more time.
Three, four, five, six.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to bend this wire back. It's hard to tell here because the bead's on there, so that it forms a 90-degree turn up from the spiral. Okay, so what you do is just hold onto the spiral bit, put your pliers down here, okay, and just turn back. Just like that.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Like that.
Is good. The camera's having such a hard time focusing on these little tiny things. This is our head pin, and that's all it takes to make a spiral head pin. All right, so now we're going to start putting the beads on.
Okay.
This is honestly the easiest part of this. You're going to need a total of 3 of these and a total of 2 of these. Start with just 1 of these. I was gonna just let him try. It's like, oh,
Okay.
that's not gonna work.
I have one.
Okay, and just put it on the wire. Okay. Okay, so an easier way to do this is just to take this and just scoop it up like that. I usually just put it in my hand for that. I don't like that particular bead though. That's why I've got a selection of the beads here, is so that If you find that you don't like one, you can get a different one. See, I like that one better. The first one I got was kind of wonky, which happens with beads, and that's fine, it happens. If you feel, once you've got your bead on, that you want to adjust your spiral, that's fine. You can take your pliers and rock it forward so that it sits nice and tight up against it. Okay, and now one of the jack-o'-lanterns. Pick the two that you want, and I'll just go for the others. I don't have a whole lot of these left, so I wanted to give him his choice.
Now these just go on here?
Uh-huh. And these particular ones, well, you put one on and then you put another one of these beads, and then you put one on and then you put another one of those beads. These particular charms, they've got a hole all the way through it.
So I'm not going to need all this metal, right?
No. You're going to want to have
Okay.
probably about that much. Yeah. Once you've got them all on, you can go ahead and trim it to about this much. This might actually be a little bit too much.
Okay. Well,
I'm still a beginner myself, so.
I have this much.
Okay, so go ahead and trim it to about that much. About, is that a 1/2 inch?
Like you gotta.
Oh.
You can measure it right here.
Oh my God, I can. Yeah, let's go with this much.
An inch.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
always trim if we need to.
Oops.
That is why we're not doing this in my office with the kittens. Okay, now we're going to form the little loop at the top that the chain will go through. You want to make sure everything is snug. You don't want it loose when you do this bend. Otherwise, it's going to wobble around. Okay, so what you want to do is have all the beads snug in your hand. You can hold it kind of like this, and it'll hold it snug, okay? And you just want to take this, use your flat pliers.
And you're almost at the very top of the beads there.
Yeah. And you're just going to bend it to a 90-degree angle. Okay, like this. And if it's too tight and you don't like how it is, you can always bend the wire back and redo it. Like I said, that's why I like using copper, not only because I like the color of it, but because it's really pretty forgiving. All right, now we're going to switch over to the round head pliers. Okay, you're going to take this and you're going to hold it to the outside of this, right? the outside of the bend.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to do is you're going to push this wire over it. Now, where you hold it on this, on these, what would they be called?
Round pliers?
Prongs, whatever they're called. On this part, the pointy bit, wherever you hold it on here is how round this opening is going to be. If you hold it way down here at the end, it's going to be a teeny tiny opening.
Sort of a small diameter?
Yeah. You hold it up here at the top, it's going to be bigger. Here in the middle, about middle. So whatever size you want that opening to be is where you need to hold it on these. And they actually make different sizes of these for making jewelry. I think... Nope, these are the only 2 pairs we've got. I thought I had more, but I don't.
So let's turn about halfway. Does that seem
Okay.
good?
So yeah. And you want to leave a little bit of gap. Not too much, but a little bit. And just, you're going to, and depending on whether it's easier for you to push away or pull forward, whichever,
So
you can
now
do
pull
that.
forward.
So pull forward until it gets all the way around and won't go anymore, right? And then without moving it on the pliers, you want to rotate the pliers. Okay, so that you've got more room to turn it, and then keep going. Okay?
We do it again if we need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, see, mine, I'm not happy with it. It's a little bit too far away, so I'm going to just undo it, straighten it out.
Would you like to use some nylon coated pliers?
I would. Just kind of clamp down on this to straighten it up a bit. Nice and straight. Put the bead back on.
Did the bead escape?
It did! And start all over again. Okay. So, and now once you've got it all the way around, you just take your side snips, making sure that the part you're going to leave is the part that's flush, and you just snip it off right about where they heat. It's going to be on the inside, okay? Not on the outside, on the inside.
So show me what you're talking about.
Here, let me use yours. Like I said, his are better because you're going to need the tip for these. You hear where they meet? You take it and snip.
Okay.
Okay. And then just put the leftover wire there.
And you said on the inside.
On the inside. Because as you see on mine, there's now a little bit of gap between the end and the rest of the wire.
So right about there, maybe? Okay.
There you go.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that looks good. His actually looks significantly better than mine. Okay, now, if you need to clean this up, you just put it back on your pliers and just,
Back on your round nose?
sorry, yeah, back on your round nose, and you just rock it forward until the 2 pieces of metal meet. And if you need to straighten up the head pin so that it's straight, you can do that. You can take this and bend it back if you want to make more of a sharper angle. If that got all wonky, and just rock forward. And there you go.
Put yours up. There you go.
Jack-o'-lantern pendant. Really easy, really quick. and fun. And then you can just string it on a chain like this one is. If you wanted to, you could use them to decorate Halloween tree, make wind chimes. But yep, that's all there is to it. So what did you think, Chad?
I thought it was pretty simple.
Yeah? Was it easier than you thought it was going to be? Harder than you thought it was going to be?
It was easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah?
I was expecting, more complexity to it.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised how easy it is to make your own jewelry findings. When I took a class on it, and I was really surprised because you go to the store and you see them on the wall and you're like, oh my God, that's so complicated. But no, it's really pretty straightforward. So I hope you all had a great time watching me teach Chad how to do this. I hope you give it a try yourself. Go out and copper wire like this, it is really not that expensive. You can get it at hobby stores. We picked this up at Michael's. You can get it there. You can buy it online at places like Fire Mountain Gems or other jewelry supply stores. It's not horribly expensive to start with copper. And yeah, just some pliers are probably going to be your biggest expenditure. But you know what? If you happen to have pliers around the house that you use for home repair, you can use those too. You are going to need some side snip. Oh, and I wanted to mention, the reason I kept telling Chad to make sure that the flat side that he cut off was on the piece that is part of the jewelry is because otherwise with side snips like this, you have one side that is flat and one side that is angled. Whereas normally with like scissors or cutters, both sides are angled. These give you one side that's flat. And so by doing that, you don't have a sharp or pointed end of the wire that could cut you or poke you or anything. It's a nice flush end. If you end up having a little bit sharper end than you want when you cut it, it's not a disaster. You can use fingernail file to smooth it out. They make little round head burr files for jewelry. I've got some of those. They work really nicely. But yeah, just a fingernail file, probably even just a piece of sandpaper would smooth it out too. Anything like that. Yeah, I hope you had fun with this. Be sure to like the video and make sure that you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our other adventures, especially any of our Halloween mega ventures that we're doing this week. And we will see you on our next adventure. Bye, everybody.
Bye.